Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. I'm going to do an update on a video I made maybe 5 or 6 years ago, possibly 7 years ago. It was an Invisalign versus ClearCorrect video. It has a ton of views. So I thought I'd make a 2024 update because the brands have changed, and definitely my opinion has changed a little bit. So both of these companies are public companies. Invisalign's owned by Align Technology. ClearCorrect is now owned by Straumann Brands, which is a public company. Both are clear aligners, both move teeth. A lot of it ultimately really depends on what type of cases you're picking. So my suggestion before you listen to this video is to put a pause on this video, go into my YouTube channel, which is Straightsmile Solutions. It has over 2,000 videos. Yes, that's insane. And I've been informed that I'm the #1 orthodontic channel for general and pediatric dentists out there in the world. Yay. How cool is that? So I want you to go into my channel and look up these 3 keywords: red, yellow, and green separately. Red, comma, yellow, comma, green. And watch the case selection videos I have for green cases, yellow cases, and red cases. Figure out what kind of cases you're doing. If you're doing green cases, I don't care what aligner brand you use. You can use any brand you want. If you're doing yellow cases, you should be fine with Invisalign or ClearCorrect, and we'll get into that a little bit more. Unless these are kids in mixed dentition, and in that case, I would definitely get moving on phase 1 appliances and growth modification and hybrid orthodontics, and learn to do that if you're thinking about doing ClearCorrect, because ClearCorrect does not have all the IP or R&D that Invisalign has. Invisalign has proprietary features that ClearCorrect cannot use. Yes, Angel Aligner tries to pirate them. I won't go into that. I have a video on that. But these are US-based companies, and it would be illegal for ClearCorrect to pirate some of the IP that Invisalign has, at least right now. So, but if you're using yellow cases that are adults and aren't really perio cases, you should be fine with ClearCorrect. If you're using red cases, I really think you need to use Invisalign or just refer them out. So yeah, I mean, obviously Invisalign has like fully in the last 5 years gone into like littles, which is actually what I love working with most, is the little kids. That sounds weird, sorry. But growth and development, little jaws, big jaws, you know, vertical issues, open bites, deep bites, transverse issues. That's the fun stuff for ortho, and it's really not that hard. So everything that Invisalign's doing, it's nothing really special. It's just based on what we do in ortho every day. So if you learn how to do expanders and growth modification appliances in regular ortho, then Invisalign's a breeze. Or you can just use all these regular appliances that we use that are super low cost and cheap and can be purchased at an ortho lab, and then you can use ClearCorrect, which plenty of doctors are doing, and you will save a ton of money if you do that. We call that hybrid. You can also learn to do indirect bonding, throw a few braces on the top to get the hard movements out of the way, and then you can use ClearCorrect. People do that all the time as well. Save a lot of money. So a lot of it, of course, depends on what scanner you have. So if you have an iTero scanner, you can use any type of brand. If you have a Trios or a Medit, at least in the United States, you will not be able to use Invisalign. So the decision is made for you. I also think Invisalign has better, and this is just my opinion, they handle mixed dentition cases better. They have better eruption guidance pontics and all kind of like things in the mixed dentition space. Obviously, they have their expander, they have their MA. ClearCorrect doesn't have that. I personally prefer the trim line on Invisalign, just comfort-wise and hygiene-wise. But a lot of people like the trim line on ClearCorrect because it's higher and they feel like it's more invisible and you can use fewer attachments, which is true. I've done full phase 1 space closure, space consolidation cases fully with ClearCorrect without any attachments, because the retention is great and you often don't need attachments if there's no extrusions or major rotations, which is kind of cool, right? Saves a lot of time, and patients love not having attachments. Now, of course, I had a daughter who had ClearCorrect for phase 1 and had Invisalign for phase 2, and she says Invisalign is hands down way more comfortable. She says it's uglier. So, I mean, this is just coming from a 15-year-old girl. It's uglier because it is much more visible because of the attachments in the trim line, but she says it's way more comfortable. So Just things to keep in mind. Certainly if I had a perio case, I'd much prefer to be in Invisalign, just because the forces are a little bit lighter and there's not as much torque going on and off the teeth as you snap those things up and down and over the undercuts. Otherwise, you know, it's all good. I mean, it just depends on case selection and what type of cases you're doing. But I've been seeing incredible outcomes with ClearCorrect over the last few years. I'm working with a lot of doctors who are using it, and they're getting really nice outcomes, you know, for a fraction of the price. But again, it depends on your cases, and not so good in little kids. Unless they're in that kind of latency period where they're not losing any teeth, and then you can use it for a phase 1 if they're not losing any teeth or they don't need to have any erupting guidance ponics or anything like that. Yes, they have those. I just don't, my opinion is that they're not good. And that's probably because they don't have the IP on it yet, so they really can't make them good yet. But I mean, that will improve in time. So yeah, that's all I got to say. Invisalign versus ClearCorrect. They're good. They're both good, depending on the case. All right, thanks.